Hello everybody, this is Carol from Friendly Quail. Today I'm going to be making a couple of journal cards. Well, a journal card and then a tuck spot, I guess, and cover a CD envelope for the bird journal. That is our challenge with Anna, made by Grenath, sorry. So one of the things that we have on our list is decoupage. So what I'm going to do is use this napkin piece on some cardstock to make a journal card base that will then go in the CD envelope later. So this is cut just a little bit smaller than the inside of the CD folder so that it'll fit in. But I'm going to decoupage this on, and I'm going to do that first because this is going to have to dry. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish the card, or at least, pretty much finish it at the end, even if it still needs to dry a little bit. But that's what the plan is. So if you haven't done decoupage, this is from a napkin. And it had, I'm going to pull out the other side. This was like here, together with this. You can see where the things go. So I just cut a piece off. And then this still has the white on the back. This is from a cocktail-sized napkin. So if you haven't done this before, the easiest way to get the napkin off is to use a piece of tape, and it lifts it up. Now this one happens to have two white pieces on. Sometimes they only have one. So I'm going to use the tape again to get the other part off. Now if you use a whole napkin, keep these because you can use those for stuff. And I've used them for some things that I've done that I'm going to throw them away today. So now this is just the top layer of napkin. You can see kind of through it, like if I have this here, you can see the blue through it. So I'm going to be putting that on here. And what I do is I get my Mod Podge and I put it all over where I want to put the thing on it. And this is a silicone mat that I have, that I use for this purpose. But anything that you could put it on anything that is nonstick. Okay, so I'm going to be putting this all over here. And it looks like I got a couple little dots of something. If you only do one side of a card, it always does that little foldy up thing. I need to get it over. Get it up to that. I might have to cut the card a little bit smaller so I didn't get it quite in the middle. You will get wrinkles. And I have a little lift up here. No matter, I'm going to be doing this. So that's what you have to do. And that will hold it down. It did dry up a little bit under here, but once you put it on over the top, it glues it down. So it works pretty good. If you would happen to rip it totally, you just pull a little piece of napkin off and put it on top of it. Like here, this just came off. We'll just take a little bit of napkin off of here. And put that on here. And then put a little on top. and it'll be fine. Try to be gentle. Okay, so now I have to let this dry, which it will flatten out once it's dry. So I'm going to put this over on my table on the other side. And I'm going to pause just a second to go clean my brush off. And I'll be right back. So I'm back, magically cleaned and ready for the next time. Wouldn't it be nice if that actually did that? All right. So while that's drying, I'm going to go to my tuck spot. And this is an over the edge, page edge tuck spot. What you do is, this is a 6x6, and I'm going to fold it in half. And this happens to be one way all the birds are like facing up like this or sideways. So I'm going to make sure I get it folded in half, so that when I put it over my page, it'll be the right direction. Now I could score this, which it's just as easy to do this, I guess, if you have a scoreboard real handy. You'd score it at 3 inches. Now this will go over a page, like if this was, I got stuff all over in here. This is my to-do list. If this was my page, this would go over the edge of the page, and you'd see half of it on one side and half on the other. So that's what I'm doing right now. And on one side, I want to put a little pocket, and I have a playing card. I'm going to glue it on to this card here. So, and this is very slippery, kind of. Now you can do things, but this isn't gonna show, so it doesn't matter. You know, you can sand them, you can put a little gesso on, you can do all kinds of different things if you're doing something, but I just want the front of the card. So I'm going to put that on to, you know what, I did that wrong, but it'll work. I was thinking I was going to make a pocket, but I'll make a pocket with another piece of card. It'll just be a little thicker. So in other words, I shouldn't have put the glue all over. I should have put glue and made it a pocket. I was getting things ready to do, and that is the bad part about doing things ahead, because I planned this out a couple days ago. But it won't be that much thicker. Get another piece of card out. Will that fit? Yeah. It's like an index card. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll make this, and I probably can use this glue now. I'll make this into a pocket by putting 3 sides and then onto the card. What else I should have done is put a divot in it, a little notch. So, hope everyone's doing okay today. And all's right in your world. It's really fun coming up with ideas for a challenge. So if anybody wants to play along, remember, you're always invited to do it. And then use our hashtag so we can see what you did. You know, if you post on Instagram or something like that. Okay, now I need to make a little punch. I might just use, no, that won't work. Here, I have this little punch. It'll make a little thing, but I'll be able to get it in here. So I'm only doing it on the card part, the top part. Find the top part. There you go, Carol. I think that'll fit in there. It would have been so much easier if I would have done it there before. Ooh, that playing card's tough. Probably because I have it doubled. Well, I made a mark. I'm going to cut it. Don't do as I do, do as I say. How does that go? I don't know. I'm just having, the last couple of days, I've been having this where everything I do, I kind of like mess it up. I probably shouldn't be making videos, but I am. So here we go. All right. Excuse me, I'm going to sand that just a little bit. And it didn't cut through because I had that extra layer card on, so it was really thick. Okay, and then I'm going to distress it, and I think I'm going to use Scorched Timber. Because it's black. Almost black. Like charcoal. Now you can use anything to make a little pocket. You know, I'm just happened to have a playing card with owls on it and other birds. So I thought, well, that'll be good. And I am doing it on this side because just a little bit of it'll show, but there we go. What I want to do with this, and I've done these before, I want this to kind of hang off a little bit off of this. So I'm going to take this and open it up and say, okay, I want about that much. So I'm going to just move it just a little bit further than I want it and making a mark, light mark with pencil so that I can get the glue on this part. See, we can always work it out. Even when you mess up, you can get it to work out, or you start over. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just paper. Okay, I want to figure out about how high I want it. And put that on. Actually, that, that looks pretty cool just the way it is, but I probably will put some ribbon or something on, and you'll see that later. And then that will be over the page, so you won't see this at all. And when I put it in, I will put it in as a tuck spot. So I'll put a little glue here, I'll put glue along the side, and when I get to decorating the actual book, I can show you how to do that. But you do that, and then you've got a tuck spot. And you don't necessarily have to do the bottom, but I think it's better because this will be a tuck spot on the opposite side of the paper, and I will also be decorating this. But that is a start, anyway, of one of the things that will be going inside the journal. Okay, and let's see. I'm also working on this CD packet here that the card will be that I made. Now this is going to get glued on the inside, so when you take the card out, this will be in the back. So what I did is I slid it in. I measured, what the distance was, and I slid it into where this is the edge of the pocket. And I'm going to cut it off right there. And again, you can cut it off by using your guillotine or your I'm sorry, making all kinds of noise. Like I said, I don't know. This is the little guillotine that I have, so I'm just going to cut that off along that line. Okay. Now, it's really hard to glue the a paper, like put glue on the on a paper like this and then slide it in and get it to go all the way in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in there. And I'm going to put the glue in like this. This here. I'm going to just put some glue in here. Make sure there's some along the bottom, the middle, and along the edge of the top. We want to make sure that we get that in really good. And then I can just close this up. I could have taken that in there, but I think it just seemed like I got enough on that it would work really good. And now that's glued inside my CD envelope. These are getting harder to find because people don't do CDs anymore. Now another thing I want to do is I want to put something on the back of here. It's gonna be completely covered. So now this is like a lady here. But you really won't know that that's what that is. So I'm going to put it in. I don't want it to show on this side, so I have to back it up a little bit so it's not showing on that side. And then I'm going to draw my line very lightly. Around here. I'm going to take this out. I'm hoping that they're going to be the same on both sides, because I have to turn it around the opposite direction. I couldn't draw on the other side. I didn't want to draw on the other side, I should say. Alright, so now hopefully this will fit in here. And I'll be able to glue it onto this. Okay. So this I will put glue on. And I will also distress it, but I can distress it when it's on already. Okay. Very carefully, because I have to slip it inside here. And get it lined up. And then I will be folding this, but it's easier to do after it's dry. Okay. Now I'm going to do this on the back, and I've just got to cut the size of the envelope. Okay. Maybe for this I will use glue stick. Let me grab my book, a paper or something here. Okay. And this will be the back. So this is going to be put in either in a belly band, or it'll be paper clipped onto this edge of a page. And when we're putting the book together, you'll see how I end up using it. Okay. Get that. Get my envelope here. This is the back. See, I'm knocking everything over and off and goofy. Get that lined up with the bottom here and the sides, hopefully. Now I have the front to cover. And I did cut it like this, so I'm going to have to put something on the back of that too. But I need to cut a circle. This circle is 4 inches. So I'm using this little tool, which I got at the thrift store. And I get it. I can know for sure where my middle is by doing very light little cross in there. Because then I can hold it in the middle. And just do my pencil. So I'm going to line up right where it says start 0 right there. If I put that right so that the whole, if I put my pencil there, it would be right in the middle. Then, and hold this edge here. And in this case, this is 2 inches. It's a nifty little thing. And now I have a 4-inch hole in the middle. So I'm going to cut that out. Carefully. And I'm going to distress the edges of this before I glue it on. I can distress the outside edges once it's on, but not the inside edges as easy. Here we go. back of this, I'm going to use this is Vintage Photo. I can do it with this, or I could do it with a brush. Brushes actually you don't get any of the little marks on it. Got a hair on there. All right. I'll turn this back around and go in a new spot. Hopefully this will work. You have to be careful that you don't rip it now because it's skinny. This is probably the hardest part, is getting this on the right place. I want the flowers to be on the right side and bottom, so putting that down very carefully and making sure that I've got it lined up around the circle. Looks like I cut the circle just a slight bit too big, so I see a little bit of white on there. Which I could, if I would have done around the circle, it would have been done better before I glued it on. Can do that too. Okay. Now I still have to put something on there. This is also, I didn't say, this is just scrapbook paper that I'm using up. Okay, and I have to do one more thing. I think it would be neat to have this on there, like that. Is it big enough? Just about. Okay. It bent over here a little bit. I will just put a little bit of Distress ink on it. It's one of the nice things you can do. Just put a little ink on it. Especially if you're having days like me. Okay, I hope everybody's doing better than I am today. Oh. See how this will work. Yeah, I didn't quite get that angle there. one more time with the glue. Right. Okay. Do a little distress on that. So didn't glue down all the way to the edge. Sorry if I was off camera. I just noticed it wasn't glued all the way down. Okay. I might make a little thumb notch there. I'm going to go in here and make a thumb notch. Eyeballing approximate middle. That'll be better. Now, inside of this is what I want to get. I'm going to have to... Okay, is where I want to put the card. So let's see if it's dry. Pretty dry. I'm not going to finish it. This will fit inside of here. But what I can do is put on the rest of the stuff on the front that I wanted to put on. This is some washi tape. It's the kind that has paper on the back. And instead of keeping this all this, I'm going to put some of this on. So I am distressing the part that's going to be in the middle right now. You run a little bit of a needle or pin or something on there that'll open that up. So you don't have to do it from the edge. But you can't do it so hard that it cuts all the way through. Okay, and I think I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it to make it stay better. Especially because it is it's just slightly damp. Part of this is going to be hanging over the edge. And I'm going to cut it off. haven't done this before, so I hope this works. Now, because it's washi, you can kind of see through it. And then, for on top of that, I gotta find where I put it. It must be over here somewhere. Ah, there it is. I have a bird that I cut out of a bird book. I fussy cut this out. It's on a plant. And I'm going to be gluing him on here, but I want to see, like, where do I want, how far up do I want it? So I want it about in the middle, and it can be a little ways up from the edge, like this. Okay, so let's get that on there. I just distressed it a little bit around the outside. So you'll see a pretty, you know, a bird in that when you look inside. I want this about the middle and up a little bit. There we go. So this will be off of here. And I'll decide if it's not thick enough with the card, which I'm getting linked on right now. Come off. Get right on the back of that, but I will cut the edges. And then that card, yep, I'm going to have to cut it down a little bit. I guess I planned for that. That card will go so that this bird is in the middle of there. And when you take it out, it still has a bird in the middle. So anyway, that's it for today. I think I better quit while I'm ahead. Okay, thanks for being with me. I hope you're enjoying the challenge, and go over to Anna's Made by Granath website and see what she's doing on hers. So thanks for being here, everybody. Bye-bye.